FM 94, The Dark. It is that time again, time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. In fact, we had a chance to talk to this band a few months ago. We're talking about the band Broken Rail, and their latest song that they had on our airwaves is called Walk Again. And joining me once again is the lead singer of the band, Blake Clausen. And Blake, first of all, thanks so much for joining me again on the program. And I know the fans and the listeners around here got to know the band a little bit more, and that's the best thing about the interview here. How are things going since we have talked about a couple months ago?
Hey, thanks so much for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure to come on board. We took off a while after the last time we spoke because we had our major album that we've been working on for a minute now. We had to finalize the details on it and then get this EP ready for release. This is more of the teaser ahead of our big debut, and that's why we went with the self-titled EP. Even though we've been around for 8 years, we wanted to reintroduce to the world the new Broken Rail sound. You know, I'm the only original member of Broken Rail, and we have significantly changed and evolved since our early 2009 and 2010 work. And so this is our major debut. This is all the top talent in the industry we've put into this album, from production to mixing and mastering. And we have a full team behind us now, and we're very proud of what we're bringing to the fans. And we are teetering more towards the metal side of the genre now.
Yeah, and that's
we felt we needed to reintroduce our sound.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I remember when we talked last time, you had mentioned that your sound has definitely swayed from one way to another, and you've gone more to the metal side, which I think for myself and the listeners here that listen to our program, they very much will gravitate towards this. And even with Broken Rail, the song that you had, Walk Again, I think that was kind of a teaser a little bit for what you guys had coming up. Am I correct on that?
Oh, yeah. It's, that still had the big chorus that our fans were used to, but it had the heavier edge when it came to the bridge, the intros, and the verses. And that's where we're headed. It's a similar thing, but we are going more towards some of our other darker influences, like the Bullet from a Valentine and the Avenged Sevenfold side. And I think a lot of it changed with the skill levels as well that came in and joined the band. When we started, we were a little college band that none of us really knew what we were doing. We were all musicians, but not seasoned musicians. And as over time, we've built a four-piece group that is extremely talented, and collectively we probably have 100 years or more of experience, in our field. And we can't talk about it yet today. I hate this, but we have a new guitarist joining us, and he's very big. He was a signed guitarist, and he's held many endorsements, and he's toured the world. And so we can't wait to get that name out there. And he's really going to add to this reshaping of the Broken Rail sound, because he was in the darker side a little bit, and the people we're working with now on an upcoming album, Logan Mader, the former Machine Head guitarist, he loves these dark and heavy tones and that's the side of things, we're going with, and we love it. The energy levels are so much higher, and I feel like the fans, like you said, I feel like fans in rock have shifted more towards the heavier side, because it's kind of gotten just repetitive and simple, with earlier rock that people loved.
So, Blake, you just dangled out a huge carrot for us. You're not even going to let us know what's going on. Wow, I tell you.
We really wanted to have the press release
Right.
this week. We actually wanted it to go out yesterday, and we couldn't get the new promo pics done in time.
Okay.
So the second they're done and ready, we're rolling out a brand new website, and there'll be a massive press release go out about who just joined the band. And he's got a lot of high-profile friends. It really helps us, but we couldn't be more proud to have him. He's a phenomenal guitarist. He's one of those. I've been playing guitar for 29 years, I believe.
Right.
And this guy comes in, and it makes me feel like I've never played a day in my life.
That's okay. Well, it gives us some anticipation, some excitement here that maybe in the next week or so we're going to find that out. That'll be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking to Blake Clausen. Of course, he's the lead singer of the band, Broken Rail, and they have a new EP. In fact, this EP is going to drop on Friday, I believe, is what's happening, Black Friday. And you're titling it Broken Rail, and how many songs are on the EP? And kind of give us a taste of that, I guess, a little bit.
Okay, well, there's only 3 songs. Like I said, this is more of a teaser,
Yep.
a reintroduction of who we are now, and what we will be moving forward. And you can expect the album very very soon. It'll be early 2017. It's almost completed. But the reason for the EP, like I said, was to reintroduce us to the world as a heavier entity. And the 3 songs, Walk Again is one of the ones included on this album because we felt it deserved to be included on at least an EP. And it goes very well with the other 2 songs on there. It'll be Save Me, which is our next single, and Memory. And Save Me was mixed and mastered by the same Kane Churko of Papa Roach fame. He actually did Walk Again, and he did Save Me as well. So they're a very similar sound. They have, Save Me especially has, you'll hear some resemblances to like Face Everything and Rise. But it's a heavier song. It is a agony song. Kind of someone is reaching out for help throughout the whole time. It never really has the redeeming chorus that Walk Again had.
Right.
But it does have that bridge where they finally stand up, and demand what they're asking for. Memory is just pure anger, and it's so high energy. It's one of my favorite songs to perform live, and it's my favorite song on the EP. It's a very simple progression of chords. It's masterfully uses a guitar riff throughout the entire song, but you're going to feel like it's changing the whole time. And we're very proud of it. But it's very angry. It has a disturbed tone to it, with a Godsmack sound, but almost that groove like of an Alice in Chains.
Nice.
That it'll keep a pattern. But it's very anger. It can be used, people relate that just went through a relationship, divorces. There's always that there's hurt in the beginning, and that's where the Save Me kind of is. But, when it's all said and done and you actually make it through whatever it was and it turns to that anger, I feel like that's where Memory is going to shine.
Very cool, very cool. And in fact, when we're done with the interview tonight, we are going to debut that song Memory here on the airwaves, so our listeners get a chance to hear that too for the very first time. We're talking with Blake Clausen. He's the lead singer of the band Broken Rail. I want to ask you about the song Walk Again, because we obviously started playing that back. I want to say it was back in April, actually, we started spinning that tune here on the airwaves. How was it perceived, I guess, across America?
It actually did very well. We had markets in almost every state pick it up, and then surprisingly, we had no radio push outside of the U.S., but we started having international markets slowly picking it up, and we still have, I believe, in Scotland, I believe. I'm here with the drummer here. He's in the vehicle with me. Alex is in the building.
Cheerio, we're in Scotland here.
Oh, it's hilarious. For people that follow our Twitter, we often reshare. It'll be, around 5 or 6 in the morning sometimes. Us musicians are usually still up.
Right, yeah.
But we reshare it a lot, but they'll play a video intro of before they play our song in Scotland, and that's very interesting to listen to the dialect. But, we've had the UK, Germany, Brazil. We've been starting to pick up markets internationally that are very large American rock markets. So the song has actually done us very well, and we hope as we push forward that the funding will get to a level to where we can take it to that highest level.
Right. And that's the one thing, and this is the reason why we do interviews like this with bands like yourself and that, because, it's tough. It's tough, and you've been doing this, like you said, 8-9 years, and you're starting maybe to get to the next level slowly but surely. It takes a lot of work, and you guys have done a lot of grassroots work, and I think in the industry today, you almost have to do that now. You don't have the support as much of the record companies, of other outside sources to help you. So you guys really have to create your own buzz, don't you, Blake?
Oh yeah, it's crazy what all we do. we go out to shows a lot, and people come up and they've had a few drinks, and they always say the same thing. They're like, "Man, I wish I could quit my day job and have fun every night."
It's not that easy.
We laugh because they don't realize, the 5-hour drive to the venue, and then the
Right.
4-hour load in and sound checks, and then the 2-hour tear downs and load outs that night, and then you're often getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep in a hotel, and then driving another 5 hours, and it's repeat. And that's just when we're on the road.
Right.
The road is actually simpler than when we're off. Like right now, when we take off to release, it's because we do not have a label and a team of people. It is ourselves. And the work that goes into this, you wouldn't believe. Just the paperwork alone, signing up for charting through SoundScan, and the copyrights and licensing, and all the paperwork that goes into your distribution. And there's so many little things. We're graphic designers. We make our own websites. We make our own tour posters. We make our own logos. We edit our own promo pictures. It's unbelievable. You almost become a professional at social media, at photoshopping, at pre-production. You can't afford to go to these expensive studios and go them to do pre-production, which, for those of you who don't know, that's when you write a song and you record it for the first time, and you're just ironing out the kinks. You want to be able to digest a song for a month or two before you're married to everything in it.
Right, right.
And so, these are little things that we have to become great at ourselves, because you just can't afford to go out of house when you've got all these other expenses.
Absolutely.
And this is an unprecedented day and time. You can reach the masses so much easier, but because of that, there's not a large pool of money like there were in labels. So they can't just snatch up and develop anyone. In fact, they will not develop anyone anymore. You have to go out and you have to prove that you're going to put so many numbers in a venue every single night, and you have to prove you can sell, and you have to prove that you can do this on your own, and then you won't do it on your own anymore.
Yeah, then you won't. Then you get to that point where some of these bands are today that are filling up venues and stuff like that. And, and that was my next question, actually, Blake, for you and for the band members. And, of course, you're the original band member of the band Broken Rail. What is the ultimate goal that you would like to achieve?
We've been trying to just ride this wave as far as it go, and luckily the waves kept getting bigger as we went. When we started in 2008, we had no idea. It was just a fun college thing, and we had no idea we'd ever go this far. And what happened was we started believing in ourselves as we went along. We started seeing that, as we were able to step up to the level of others, we started realizing that we could stand with other people, and we've still never been given the opportunity of those highest levels of the bands like we're talking about. Mm-hmm. But we do feel like that when we do get on that level and we have the same amount behind us, that we can, accomplish the same goals. But I think our end goal, though, is, we try to help people through music, and we love music, and we want music to be our career. And we will be satisfied with being able to live with a career in music,
right?
Full time. But of course, our number one goal is to take it all the way. We do want to sell out the arenas and the things, and that's all with songwriting. That's why we strive daily to keep writing, and we want to make the best music for the best people in the world.
Awesome. We're talking to Blake Clausen, of course, the lead singer of the band Broken Rail. I want to bring something in currently. Of course, this past weekend, it was the AMAs, the American Music Awards. And it seems like, and you get to this time of the year, especially after a political election and that happened, that you get bands that start coming out with their political views and kind of making a mess of things, I guess you can kind of say.
Course, yeah.
What is your view, or what's your feeling about bands that maybe take that extra second or two of their time to go to the masses to maybe kind of give their political views out? Do you have an answer, or do you not want to answer something like that?
We have made it a goal since the beginning to kind of hold back political and religious views, because
right.
All it does is alienate and divide, and I truly feel like that's the worst thing for this country. And you can completely hate people for the wrong reasons if you divide against each other,
right.
and by starting these arguments, people are set in their ways, and it's very hard to deter someone that is going to vote for who they're going to vote for, or they believe in what they believe, and the arguments just get nasty. And I just don't know if that's the right platform for it. And the last thing we want to do is to divide our fan base we've worked so hard to acquire.
Right. Absolutely.
And, you can have a completely different view than mine, and that's completely fine. I accept it. I smile and we move on, and we'll have a good time together. And, I feel like I feel like if we had more of that, we would be better off.
Right. And for you guys, sometimes the way you interpret a song and the way I interpret a song is completely different. And as long as we're rocking out, having fun, that's really all that should matter. And I guess when you start getting these bands and maybe certain artists out there that start, becoming a little bit more, giving that extra time because they, the focus is on them, especially like an award show like that. I just get irritated with that. It just irritates the heck out of me.
It's not the right platform. You're there for music,
right?
And it turns me off, and I don't care if I'm for what they're saying or against it. It turns me off,
right?
Either way, because it is dividing and causing hatred, and that's not the way to unify a country or a nation, or a fan base or anyone. And and I feel like that should be the goal, no matter what, because you've all heard the saying, divided we fall and united we stand. Well, it's true. You don't realize the numbers
right.
of the U.S. and how incredible it would be if we all worked together against for a common goal. I guess the good thing is studies have always shown, though, during a Republican candidacy, that rock thrives. Rock is rebellious.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to ask that.
Yeah, that's actually very good for our genre. Our genre has been hurting over the last 8 years. When we started Broken Rail in 2008,
mm-hmm.
the genre was flourishing. All the late '90s bands that just came back, all the hard rock bands, and they were all blowing up again. And rock was thriving. And then a lot of it happened with the housing bubble when it blew.
Right.
The economy died, and people couldn't afford to have their fun and go out and do things, and venues closed, and But there's a really big resurgence right now,
right?
And it's nice, looking all over Facebook Live and you're watching these live shows. We were watching Nonpoint Live last night from Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, and it's so nice to see all these bands still just killing it right now, even though people have been fighting an economy and all the divisiveness in the country. At least you can come out and you can just let loose and forget the world for a night,
Exactly, and that's what I think that's what music is all about. It really is, just to kind of forget about what's going on and just live for the moment of what's happening.
Right. But cell phones have really changed things a lot too. It's hard to get people to put their phones down. When we're doing live shows, everybody's got their phone and they're recording video, and what they don't realize is most of them are never going to go back and watch it.
No.
And two, you're missing the actual show, and you're not even watching it live yourself. And that's definitely not the intimacy that we grew up on in concerts. I had nothing in my pockets other than beer money,
You were scratching for beer money, even.
To the front of the stage, yeah. You'd go right to the front of the stage, and you'd stay there the entire night, and it's just a magical feeling. You'd have chills all night, and every time you look back at it, you can remember that feeling.
Right.
And I don't know if people get that as much as they used to.
No, I don't. I think everybody is in the hey, I'm here at this event. This is me, la da da. And it's rather than just soaking in the event, and that's the thing. And that, social media is a great thing for some things, but I think it's destroyed a lot of things too. So I mean, it goes both ways, unfortunately. But I will agree with you that on the concert thing of the cell phones, and that's something that I know that some artists have really gotten to the point where they don't want any cell phones around whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I've seen them actually ask to put them down. When we saw Disturbed earlier this year, they didn't really say anything about it, but they did ask on purpose. They said, we normally don't like the phones out, but they were about to play The Sound of Silence, and they asked for everyone to turn the light, the camera light on,
yes,
and put them in the air.
Yep.
And I think that's a brilliant idea, because what what the people don't realize what he was doing there was not only does it make a beautiful picture of they turn off all the lights and there's nothing but 30,000 cameras, but it makes everybody else forget that they have a phone in their hand.
Absolutely.
You actually have a moment because everyone puts their hand in the air and they're not touching their phone. And I think that's unquestionable, like how awesome that is, and that was a great idea whoever came up with it. I mean, I know a lot of people are doing that now. But
yeah, yep.
It's a very good idea. That's how you make a moment,
Yeah, absolutely. When we went to just about a week ago, I was at Five Fingers Shinedown and 6 a.m. Shinedown and 6 a.m. both did that too. So it was a pretty cool thing just to see that. And just, I think, like you said, it actually, and it stopped them from taking pictures and actually looking around and going, hey, we're enjoying the moment.
Exactly. Everybody's got their arm in there, and they're all facing forward, watching the stage, and you actually have their intention for a couple minutes. And I feel like the crowd is going to get so much more of a reward out of that than they would have had that moment not happened.
Absolutely. I know we got to get going here, Blake, but you have the new EP that's coming out here on Friday, and we talked before we went on the air of possibly some touring and maybe making it up this way sometime. Talk about the touring and how that's going right now.
Yeah, we're actually putting a tour together ourselves with the Mendenhall Experiment. They're out of Los Angeles, California. Our guitarist, whom we will name soon, he writes their music and works with them a lot. But the singer has cerebral palsy, and he's used music to overcome that, and they're phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Guitarist, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, he plays guitar, and that's how he's gotten over his. We're not over his, but that's how he deals with it, and he's phenomenal at it. And there's a documentary coming out over it that's very high profile. But we couldn't be more excited to hit the road with them. We're trying to hit the entire U.S. So you can actually request dates. We're actually still routing at the moment. So
did you hear that, Central Minnesota? Did you hear that, Central Minnesota? We can request some dates. So what we wanted you guys to do out there is start telling us that you want this band here to play here in Central Minnesota. Does that sound good, Blake?
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, we want you back up here. We want you up here for the first time, and we hear you on the radio, but we haven't seen you in person. And that's the thing I think a lot of people, and like you said, going back to you're seeing more and more rock starting to be revived and people going to concerts more and more because I think they do have a few more dollars in their pocket now so they can do that. And it's an event for them, but it's really cool to see that I think rock actually is kind of leading the way when it comes to that small venue coming out and watching bands perform.
Oh, of course. And, that's one thing that I'm proud of in this genre. Our band and most other bands that we work with, they're not too proud to go get on their bus after a show. We want to sit there and meet everybody that came to our show. And we feel like those relationships is what last. I personally love going to concerts with people that I actually know and I've met firsthand. It makes the next time so much more personable, And we really would love to get to your area and meet everyone that can come out,
That'd be awesome. All right, let's tell the folks how they can find out more. See, I'm dating myself, folks. I mean, that's how old I am. No, I'm just kidding. My wife says that all the time. Did you know you just said folks, by the way? But anyway, let's tell the listeners, how's that, the rockers out there, how they can find out more information about Broken Rail.
Sure, you can find us at brokenrailband.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Broken Rail. You can search if you're looking to purchase our music. Definitely go and follow us on Spotify. Our Spotify presence has blown up over the last few months. We've got on a lot of high-profile playlists, and there's more coming with the EP drop. But we love to interact with you on there. It's so easy to actually message our fans through Spotify. So please go and follow us there. Add us to your playlist. But anywhere you find our music, you'll find Broken Rail.
Awesome, Blake. And once again, that new EP coming out here on Friday. And, of course, it looks like 2017 is going to be a great year for you guys. Thanks so much for joining me again, Blake, and we're going to play that brand new song, Memory, here in just a moment.
All right, thank you.
Once again, that is the lead singer of the band Broken Rail. That is Blake Clausen. That new song is called Memory. You're hearing it for the very first time right here in Central Minnesota on FM 94's The Dark.